Yo, what's up, everyone? Back for this Sunday slate. We're going to look at the 1 o'clock slate for today. Yesterday, the early slate picks were great, especially the pitcher picks. Recommended Giolito and Pavetta, and they combined for 73 DraftKings points, so we scored a 118, which was good enough to cash in cash and double ups. Also, the batter picks were pretty good with Cruz went yard, and I had Nunez who went yard, but I ended up switching him out for Canna, who only got 7. And then on FanDuel, it cashed as well with the 132. Had Cruz, had Nunez, and went with Pavetta, who went the distance. So it was a good day yesterday. If you used the picks and made some money, or if you just enjoy the videos, be sure to drop a like on it. And you can subscribe down below, because I've been posting a video pretty much every day the last month. We'll continue to post videos every day. And then with football and basketball, football coming up, you definitely want to be subscribed and don't want to miss videos for that. You can also check out the website down below, dfsprocess.net. So today, we have Jake Odorizzi is the highest priced pitcher by far. I mean, not by far, but at almost $11,000. Entering into this season, if you would have told me that Odorizzi was the highest priced pitcher, I wouldn't have believed you. But he's been deserving of that, considering how well he's been pitching this season, especially as of late. He has at least 30 DraftKings points in 2 straight starts, and he's just been dominant. His ERA sits under 2. He's been getting good strikeouts, doesn't give up that many hits. He's only given up 4 home runs on the year. And he used to be a guy that gives up a ton of home runs, so he's really managed his fly balls this season. So I don't mind going with him if he can make it work. I don't mind Robbie Ray either. Those are the 2 guys I would go if I was paying up, although I would go with Odorizzi. But I don't mind Ray against a terrible Blue Jays offense. Don't have interest in Bieber, don't have interest in Snell, don't have interest in Gray, don't have interest in Miley. Don't have any interest in Syndergaard, who's always popular for some reason, but he never really does anything special. And I love Aaron Nola here at 8,600. After what Nick Pivetta did to this team, Aaron Nola has a little more talent than Pivetta. I mean, he did finish third in the Cy Young voting last season. This season, he hasn't been as dominant, but he's still been good in most of his starts. He's been really good at home for his career. He has good strikeout upside with 79 Ks and just 70 innings. And his price tag is just extremely favorable. Like, he's been over $9,000 for much of the season. He's getting a $1,000 decrease from his last start. And facing a Reds offense that is susceptible to strikeouts, I like Nola here at 8,600. And I'm going to pair Aaron Nola with Max Fried at 7,100. I love this combination on DraftKings today, this combo. Fried is extremely cheap at 7,100. Like, he was 8,500 he was 8,300 when he was facing the Brewers, 85 when he was facing the Diamondbacks, and 88 when he was facing the Dodgers. Having him at 7,100 facing the Marlins in Miami is just a brain fart on DraftKings' end. He hasn't been that good as of late, but I would still trust him here to get back on track. It's the best matchup he's had his last couple starts. So it's a really good spot for him at 7,100. He's too cheap. So that leaves us with plenty to spend on our hitters. Today at first base, I'm going to go with Nunez once again, just because he is extremely cheap at just $4,000, considering how well he's been hitting. He's never popular. He's never, yesterday was only 3% owned. If you played him on DraftKings on FanDuel for that short afternoon slate, he was 5% owned. He's never popular, but his numbers against left-handed pitching are amazing. They will go up today. They haven't updated his stats for today, his home run for today. But Nunez is just really, really good. He bats third or second in the lineup. Should get good at-bats here against Miley, and he has 286 average, which should go up to over 290. Should be 8 home runs against lefties, about a 300 ISO, 584 slugging percentage. Nunez is just really, really good, especially as of late. He's clubbed 7 or 8 bombs his last 2 or 3 weeks. He's really, really hot right now, so I want to take advantage of him at a very fair price tag, just $4,000, considering that he was over $5,000 for a good stretch of time, $5,000, high $4,000s. Now he's only $4,000, so I like the really good price decrease on him. Next, at third base, the Twins offense, the stack is by far my favorite stack on the board today. They are head and shoulders above any other team I want to stack. Are the Twins facing Ryan Carpenter, who's just terrible. He's been good as of late, and 2 of his last 3 starts has Carpenter has been pretty good, but I don't trust him here against the league's best offense. Carpenter still has ERA is still above 6. He only has 18 strikeouts in 26 innings. Has given up 7 bombs in just 26 innings. So terrible numbers for Carpenter. I feel like the Twins are going to explode off of him. I kind of like stacking the Twins when they do face a righty, though, because that's more helpful for guys like Rosario and Kepler, but both of those guys can still, they still have other guys that can do damage, like Miguel Sano at third base, $4,600. He's only had 60 at-bats this season because he's just returning a couple, 3 weeks ago from an injury, but he has 5 home runs on the season. Really, really good numbers against lefties. He's been a little more powerful against lefties than righties, has Sano. And it's a tremendous spot for him to really do some damage against Carpenter for a couple reasons. And we will go over them. So this season, it's only been 17 at-bats against lefties. Pretty small sample size. We'll look at his career numbers. He has, batting average is a little bit higher. The ISO is about 18 points higher. 17 points higher. And the slugging is 23 points higher. He does strike out a lot against lefties and righties, 35%. But the reason I like him today is Carpenter does not strike many guys out at all. Look at his numbers, just really bad to both sides of the plate. So even you can target guys like Rosario because Carpenter is not good against lefties either. Lefties are hitting .333 against him this season. It's a really small sample size, so if you look at his career numbers, he's still giving up over a 500, 550 slugging on both sides. Righties are slugging 600 against him, and he only has a 14% K rate to righties, which is really bad. His home run per 9 is almost 3 to righties. So I really like Sano here to take him deep at 4,600. In the outfield, we're going to start it off with Nelson Cruz once again. He's just really hot right now, and his price tag is too cheap given the matchup. Home runs in 3 straight games. He was hurt for a while. He was hurt for almost a month. Came back on June 4th, and he's hit 3 bombs since. 3 bombs in 4 games. He's looking healthy, and he's very dangerous now that he's healthy. At 4,400, facing a lefty is tremendous spot for Nelson Cruz, who's always been great against lefty pitchers, a veteran. But just his power is still not declining, which is outstanding, which is amazing given that he is 38. He's going to be 39 in a month. This season, it's a small sample size, only 28 at-bats. His career numbers are about 20 points higher batting average against lefties. His ISO is about 20 points higher. Slugging is 40 points higher. Striking out less. Walking more. WRC plus is also much higher. Cruz is a great spot for him. The Twins also get a ballpark upgrade going into Detroit instead of hitting in Target Field. So I love Cruz here at 4,400. And then I'm going to go with Lorenzo Cain. Not many people know it, but Cain is one of the best lefty hitters in baseball for average and for power. Well, not for power, but for average and for position too as an outfielder. This season, Cain has been showing off his power against lefties, and it's a great spot against Brault, who really struggles against righties. So I like Cain a lot, and I like Ryan Braun from the Brewers. He's batting .276 against lefties this season. It's only 58 at-bats, but he has 3 home runs. In 3 times fewer at-bats, he has 3 times as many home runs. He only has 1 home run in 190 at-bats, 2 righties. He has a 241 ISO this season and a 517 slugging percentage. And last season, he was outstanding against lefties. He hit .373, almost 100 points higher than his numbers against righties, which were still very respectable at .285. But he hit .373 in 142 at-bats, had 4 bombs. Just a really good spot for him against Brault, who is just terrible against righties. Cain should be able to get on base, and he still has speed that he can take off against lefties if the matchup is right. And if he gets on base against the bullpen, he can run too. But Brault is just terrible against righties. .305 average given up and a .526 slugging percentage. So I like Cain a lot here at 4,300 given his cheap price tag. So that should about do it for the video. Those are the picks I like. If you enjoy the video, be sure to drop a like on it, and you can follow me on Twitter at the DFS Process. I'm going to quickly run through each other game on the slate and give you guys my 2 cents on it. The first game here, Rays and Red Sox, no interest in any bats. Same thing with this Reds-Phillies game. Don't have any interest in really any bats either. This Diamondbacks team, I have a little bit of interest in some of their hitters against Richard, a lefty. I have some interest in Crone at just $4,000 and Walker at $4,300. Both guys have a lot of power. I have interest in Ahmed at just $3,600. He's really good against lefties. And I like Marte at $4,800. The Yankees and Indians, don't have any interest in the Yankee bats against Bieber. For the Indians, the Yankees are going with like a bullpen game. So I have a little interest in like Kipnis at $3,100. Ramirez just because he still has great speed, even though he hasn't been hitting the ball well this season. And Mercado at $4,100. I'm just going to be loading up on the Twins today. Love the Twins. If I had to rank them, I love Garver at catcher. Going cheap at pitcher allows you to pay up at catcher too. A position I don't normally spend up on, but when you have a catcher like Garver leading off with the amount of power that he has, I'll play him. I'll play Crone. I'll play Marwin Gonzalez. I'll play Shoop. I'll even play Polanco and Buxton. Like literally everybody, all the righties I would play, even some of the lefties if you want to get creative, but the righties are good enough for me. No interest in the Detroit bats. No interest in the Braves bats. This ballpark is not great for hitting, obviously. I feel like we can do better given the high price tags on guys like Austin Riley. Acuna is almost $5,000 too. And Freeman's $5,500. Here we have the Rockies and the Mets. Don't have any interest in really anybody on the Rockies against Syndergaard. On the Mets, I have interest in a few pieces. I have interest in Jeff McNeil, who's really cheap at $3,800. I have interest in him, and I have interest in Conforto in the outfield at $4,600. Here we have the Pirates and the Brewers. I like, on the Pirate side, I don't mind going with a few of them against Anderson, who does give up like fly balls, a ton of fly balls. I like guys like Marte, even though he's expensive. Marte, Polanco, Brian Reynolds, who's just really good. And yeah, those are the three I would target. And Josh Bell, obviously. And on the Brewer side, I have interest in the righties mainly, like Aguilar at $3,200. I like him. I like Hernan Perez at $37. And I like Orlando Arcia at $38, and Braun and Kane. On the Orioles side, I have interest in a couple pieces, even though they have a low total. But their price tags are appealing. Like I have interest in Nunez. I talked about him. I have interest in Mancini at $42. Decent amount of interest in Alberto, who has really good numbers against lefties, batting leadoff at $3,100. Great price tag on him. And I have interest in Broxton, who's too cheap at $3,200 and has power. On the Astros, don't have interest in that many pieces. I mean, I think you can even go to like Bundy if you want to get creative as an SP2, given all the injuries on the Astros. The only guy I would recommend is like Bregman at $5,000 just because he has power, and maybe Gurriel, who's cheap at $3,400. And last but not least, we have the White Sox and the Royals. On the White Sox, I have interest in the cheap guys only. I have interest in Alonso at $3,400. I'm not going to be paying $5,000 for guys like Tim Anderson and Moncada. I only have interest in him, and I have interest in Eloy Jimenez, who's $3,300, and he has power, even though he hasn't been great with the power this season. But against righties, he's been good with his power, so I like him. And on the Royals side, same thing. Like it's kind of tough to pay up for guys like Merrifield's almost $5,000, Mondesi's $55,000, Gordon's $5,000. So kind of limit my exposure to some of the cheaper hitters like Colbert at $3,900. And I don't mind going with Merrifield just because he has speed. And I don't mind Soler either at $4,500. So that's the breakdown for this Sunday slate. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching, and good luck.